Hello, everybody. Welcome to your weekly celebrity reading. This is for King Charles, who had a coronation yesterday. And so, as I do with all my readings, they're based on subscriber requests. He was requested a couple times a few months ago. I only do one celebrity reading a week, but I felt like, okay, he had a coronation, so let's see what's going on. Now, here's the thing about King Charles III. Now, with all of my celebrity readings, I do a very brief overview of their birth chart. This is really crazy, all right? So, he is a Scorpio. And he has a lot of activity in Scorpio. His Mercury's in Scorpio, his Chiron's in Scorpio. We won't get into that. We'll just say that yesterday, during his coronation, there was a full moon lunar eclipse, okay, in Scorpio. All right. So this full moon lunar eclipse, it was all about surrendering something that wasn't working for you, letting something go, releasing something. It's like hit the road, Jack. Like I'm done with this. All right. And it could have been, with him being a Scorpio, last year could have been really intense for him. There were, the eclipses are game changers. Eclipses in Scorpio really intense. All right. Now, the reason why this is very interesting is because not only did we have that full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and he is a Scorpio, but he is also Leo rising. All right. So that's very interesting because him being a Scorpio, all his activity, his Scorpio, and his Mercury, they're both in, and his Chiron, they're in his fourth house of home. So domestic, think of domestic matters like family and, his actual home. So there could have been some changes there, or there could be changes to come because with him being a Leo rising, that full moon lunar eclipse was in his fourth house, okay, where the domestic sector. All right. Now, that's also very interesting, especially because looking at his chart now, everything is happening within his home, and especially with Scorpio. Pluto moved into Aquarius in March, and that was his fourth house as a Scorpio. So a lot of activity there in his family, in his home structure. There may be some changes there. Okay, maybe some changes. More of like just letting something go. Maybe like surrendering something that's not working for him. Now his midheaven is in Aries, natural born leader. All right, he was meant to be a leader for sure. Very inspirational. It's in his chart. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what's going on for him. Just, one thing about Scorpios is, with Jupiter moving into Taurus next week, this is going to be very interesting. Him being a Scorpio and Leo rising. So Scorpio, Jupiter moving into Taurus for Scorpios, 7th house. He's going to have a lot of activity with partnerships, okay? A lot of activity with partnerships, whether, career or, love, romance. And then as him being a Leo rising, career. So Jupiter is a planet of good luck, prosperity, good fortune. So his career's gonna go really well, because Jupiter is gonna be in his house of career and public achievements, fame, all of that for an entire year. So let's go ahead and get started. See what's going on for King Charles the Third. And as I do with all my readings, I do not know anything about him. I don't follow tabloids. I don't Google them. I just look at their birth chart, okay? And that's because I do cold readings, and I don't want to give a biased reading, all right? So this is completely unbiased, all right? So let's go ahead and get started, see what's going on for King Charles the Third. And I hope that I got that right, that the coronation was yesterday. But I think that's when the news, I don't know. It could be today. But the full moon lunar eclipse was yesterday. All right. So that is bigger. Well, I guess the coronation is big. But anyway, I'll stop talking. Listen, I do a traditional Celtic cross spread. It is what brings the best overview, in my opinion. If I need to pull clarifiers, I'll pull clarifiers. Secondly, if you're a subscriber, definitely drop some comments and celebrities you want me to read, or well-known figures, and I will eventually get to them. There is a long list, and you see my dog has taken up all my table space. We'll see not to wake her up. But yeah, wow. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, so you got the Emperor. All right, there we go. Hey, ruler of his own destiny. All right. And so, really, just he's come to a place where he's really, I think he's really become into his identity, personal identity, especially with that eclipse that happened for Scorpios in their first house. Okay. First house is self. It's, identity. It's him knowing that, like, I'm the ruler. I'm the ruler of my own destiny. I'm the ruler of this empire. This is mastery of self, but also look at the emperor here. He has a long white beard for wisdom, crown for success, red cloak for passion, for power, right? You see the orb in his hand. He's got the world in his hand, the Egyptian Ankh, that life force. Now, look at where that brings us. Ace of Wands in the heart of his spread. So, Ace of Wands, aces, really strong, right? They're really strong, very significant. They usher in new change, new beginnings, new opportunities. He's going through this, there's something new that we can expect from him, okay? You see the leaves sprouting from the one, so it's almost like there's things happening now, all right? Where it's almost like he's coming into a lot more power, and there's something new coming into his life, all right? That's what aces do. Wands, your passions, creativity, ideas. You can have this like new idea for something, but also that's the hand of spirit offering the one, okay? And so wands are also very enterprise related, so very career, job, work related. As I said, Jupiter going into Leo with him being a Leo, or into Taurus with him being a Leo rising, all about career, but definitely just we can expect a lot of newness out of that. Now, he did get the Six of Swords in his challenge area, so there's still something that he has to let go. There's something that he definitely is some challenges that he may have been going through that he's probably still thinking about, and he needs to just he needs to surrender that. All right, whether it's in his physical world, I'm getting more up here, like it's all up here, especially because the swords are the mental suit, right? It's all about intellect, logic, communication, but it came up in his challenge areas. So in order for this new thing to come through, he really has to be in that good, that mind body soul balance, right? But also just clear the decks up here. There's something he has to surrender, something that he has to let go, and it probably will happen, especially because this full moon lunar eclipse was again very intense, very powerful, and it's long lasting. I mean, it happened on that day, but it's just a point in time. All right, so a lot of people, every sign will still feel this eclipse, for weeks to come. Now, he did get the Seven of Swords. Okay, so it really is a lot of he has to face some truths at this point. He has to face some truth, especially with the Six of Swords. All right, in his challenge area, you see we've gone from the Six of Swords to the Seven of Swords in his crown. All right, so it really is the biggest energy is something that is it's almost something that he's avoiding. He needs to confront it. He needs to face some of these truths, and things will go better for him. And a lot of it is just Mercury is retrograde right now. All right, so he could be thinking a lot about things that are kind of like again, Mercury's retrograde in Taurus, so a lot of it has to do with partnerships or career, okay, or both, okay. But there's some truth that he has to face. But he did get the Three of Wands, which is really great. They came in the root of his spread. All right, so that is all about just he does want to change. He does want to go move forward. He does want to go explore. And I call this the green light card. Like, you're ready to go. You see this man. Like, think about the 14th century when tarot came out, right? Medieval times. They didn't have iPads. They didn't have Netflix. They didn't have any of that. So leaving your village was actually like a big deal. Going out to explore, like he where it falls in his spread. He wants this. He really wants to just expand his world. Look at all that sky, all that yellow sky, a lot of sunlight, a lot of freshness, right? Sky's the limit. All right. So he definitely wants to go out there and do that. But he did get the Eight of Swords. So this is very interesting because now you see we've got the Six of Swords, Seven of Swords, and Eight of Swords. Okay, so think about that succession, and so he really needs to let something, especially the energy. I'm getting it's more up here. He needs to just surrender something that's not working for him because otherwise he's going to be trapped in that energy. And you see, we call this the self-victim card, right? And so you see that she's blindfolded, she's bound. She has all these swords around her. She thinks she's protecting herself. She thinks she built this fortress where in fact the reality is she built a prison, all right? Prisoner of her thoughts, okay? Now, here's the good news is that her feet are free. She can walk out anytime she wants. Anytime she wants. Okay, so this is just saying that there may be some fears, okay, maybe some anxieties or just something where he just can't let it go. All right, and it really is about surrendering that. And we'll pull clarifier, yeah, and there you go, Page of Wands. All right, so it really is it's almost like this new thing that's coming into his life. He may be fearing that. It may be just like it's so new to him that he doesn't. It's just like, okay, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what the public's gonna think about me. But the fact that he got the Ace of Wands, you see here, and the Page of Wands, come on, that's a lot of new beginnings. The other thing is, once he lets all that fear or any anxiety or any doubts or whatever is taking up his mental space, once he lets it go, he's fine. He's good to go. He's absolutely good to go with that Page of Wands, all right, and the Ace of Wands in his heart of his spread. Do you see what's happening here? By the way, all right, all swords, all wands. Other than the Emperor, all swords, all wands. All right, so he needs to put some heart into it. There's no cups here, okay? There's no cups here at all, and he needs to be a little bit more, a little grounded as he moves forward. All right, because Leo rising, Leo's very fiery, right? And then Scorpio is watery, very sensitive, emotional, and so there's no Pentacles here, and Pentacles are earthbound, so it's a little more grounded. He's all up here. He's just like ground control to Major Tom, right? So let's get to his staff. Let's see what's going on for him. If you like this reading, by the way, it'd be great. If you like, subscribe, leave comments. I love hearing from you and tell me what's going on. A lot of people, I love hearing from people who have, especially if you made the request for him. Tell me what's going on in his life. I don't know what's going on. But let's see. I do hear that in his personal life. So he did get Temperance. So this is a great sign. This is absolutely a great sign. And I love that he did get Temperance because, this card is ruled by Sagittarius. And so he actually has his Mars in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Sagittarius. And that's in his 5th house of pleasure, of love, of romance, of creativity, self-expression. And so there you go. Temperance is all about that balance. Remember what I said earlier, mind, body, soul, but it's also like, a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It's finding that balance. It's really just knowing. This is just basically saying that he needs to just trust the process. He needs to trust himself and really go within, have that intuition, because there is a long path for him. You can see the sun coming out in the form of a crown, actually. How funny. He is the king. All right. So it is, there's a path, but it's like, don't rush anything. Don't stress about anything. Just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. It seems like that is something that he actually wants to do right now, but he still is in his headspace. All right. So it's all about that balance right here. Temperance it literally means self-restraint, right? So it's that moderation and just enjoying the moment. And if, you may want things to happen like right away and maybe feel like a little frustrated things are not happening in certain ways that he wants right now, but trust the process, the things that he wants. As long as he gets out of this headspace, he'll be fine with those 2 aces. And speaking of aces, boom, he got the 8 of Wands. And speaking of Wands, he got the 8 of Wands now. This is like boom, 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 boom. Go, 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 go. Hello. Sagittarius again. So this is saying that this is in his external factors area. Things are going to be moving fast for him. Things probably are moving really fast for him too. He could be traveling as well. There's a lot of travel coming up. But even still, this is saying trust the process. Go with the flow. Things are probably going to be happening fast for him. All right. These are just 8 wands. You see, this is the only card. There's no figure, no person, just 8 wands zipping through the air. All right. So a lot of enthusiasm with that card. And I love that. Now, he did get the Tower, but where it falls in his spread, it's almost like I don't want any surprises. I don't want any surprises. I don't want anything unexpected happening. It's kind of like based on his spread here, that could be something that he is fearing. Is that there is probably something that may be a big deal that he doesn't want to like explode in his face, and that's why he could be in his headspace. But again, with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, that's so auspicious, right next to the Eight of Wands. So it's really just a matter of him just getting out of his head, and then again, another Wands. So this is very interesting. He has two major arcanas and only wands and only swords. You see that here. So the Seven of Wands, this is his final outcome, and this is his you see this man standing his ground. Standing his ground. Protecting everything that he's fought for. Alright? No one's gonna, this is the card of valor. This is no one's taking anything from you. This is drawing a line in the sand, saying no. This is standing up for what you believe in, standing up for what you worked hard for, not letting anything take anything away from you. All right? Because you've earned this spot, and there may be some power struggles, especially because Pluto is being really naughty this month, and Pluto is, it's a powerful planet, and, with him as being a Scorpio, it's his ruling planet. So there could be some people, coming after him, right? Like, it could be just like, even as little as like internet trolls, like saying like weird things or whatnot, but this is him standing his ground and just having that power. And of course, like, I'm sure he's not the one that monitors like his social media or whatever, but in the end, it could just be just a lot of again, power struggles. But in the end, that is the card of valor and standing his ground. And we'll pull a clarifier, and there you go. Wow. Oh my goodness. So he's definitely going to go through some major transformation. You got the Death card. This is a card, speaking of synchronicity with what's happening astrologically with his birth chart, him being a Scorpio, Death is ruled by Scorpio, okay? And so this card is the card of Scorpio, but this is a very auspicious card. It's the most misunderstood card. Death is all about transformation. Remember what I said earlier, it's just a point in time. Death is a point in time, and so he's going to eventually go through this transformational process. Like, he's big time. You see that sun coming out on the horizon. I mean, really good. You see the white horse, the white flag. That's purity. You see fully protected in this armor, and then you see the skeleton. Right? What out of our body endures the longest? Bingo. The bones, skeleton. So it's like this transformation that he's going through, okay? And it's going to be for a long, like shelf life to come. And then if you think about Scorpio and his birth chart, remember, it's all in his fourth house, okay? It's all in his fourth house of family, of, his domestic sector, okay? Pay, that his home, all right? And then remember, Death card, ruled by Scorpio. Remember I said that, okay? Ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio's ruling planet is Pluto. And Pluto in Aquarius went into his fourth house of home. So, and that's a 20-year aspect, all right? So, this is interesting. I've actually never seen a reading like this. The fact that he pulled only major arcanas and all wands and all swords. This is very interesting. Anyway, that is the reading for King Charles III. He, just needs to get out of that headspace. A lot of newness coming through, and things are happening fast, all right? But he really just needs to surrender some things that are just not working for him, and he's definitely going to go through this major transformation. And again, a lot of it's just like fear of what's coming like in the future, and he has to just flip that mindset, and he'll be fine. But definitely, a lot happened for him for sure. A lot, like, he's going through a major transformation. So that's a reading for King Charles. Thanks so much for tuning in, and if you're a subscriber, leave comments, and if there's anyone you want me to read, I'll drop them in the comments, and I'll add them to my list. It is a long list, and I do one a week, but I'll eventually get to them. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.